Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
Welcome to episode 226 of Adventures and Mousecapades. This week, we are taking a little tour, two actually, around the happiest place on Earth. While we were in Anaheim for spring break and between absolutely incredible culinary experiences, we covered those last week, we largely just took the opportunity to enjoy some relaxing park time. That's right. It is possible to have a slow and relaxing few days in the parks, which was partially by choice and partly because Nathan is still recovering from a knee replacement and I'm still getting back up to speed after open heart surgery last year.
But we persevered. We stopped for drinks and snacks frequently, as you must, and instead of lots of rides, took some time to partake in two guided tours around Disneyland. A Story of Celebration 70th Anniversary guided tour and the Women Who Make the Magic guided tour. So we're going to talk about those tours today and share a few other things that we got up to around the parks.
Yeah. So, what are guided tours?
Well, a guided tour, at least in the Disney or Disneyland, to be more specific, context, is a small group experience, usually 10 to 20 people, although I think most of the ones we've done have been under 10.
Yeah.
Where a Disney guide leads you through a curated kind of like tour, if you will, through parts of Disneyland and or California Adventure, sharing insider stories and coordinating rides, attractions, or special locations as part of the experience. Think of these as part history lesson, part storytelling immersion, and part VIP light park day.
Yep. They are led by a dedicated tour guide, a specially trained cast member.
Mm-hmm. These are plaids.
Yes, these are plaids. There is a pre-planned itinerary that is focused on a specific theme. They are usually a couple hours long, usually around 2 hours or so, depending on the tour. Mm-hmm. And it is a separately ticketed experience. It is not included with park admission, and there's an additional fee for the tour. It usually includes reserved or expedited attraction access for one, maybe two. Mm-hmm. Storytelling and historical context. There is strategic pacing, so less waiting, more flow. Mm-hmm. And there are occasional backstage logistics or unique viewpoints, and that will vary by the tour.
Right, and by availability.
Yes.
Yep. So what makes them so special? Well, the first thing is what Alicia just mentioned in storytelling that goes really deep into Disney level storytelling. Guides explain why things are the way they are, not just what they are. And this can include Walt Disney's original vision, especially there in the Disneyland Park, hidden design details or Imagineering tricks, park history and the evolution of a given space or an attraction over time, and how storytelling, music, and architecture all work together.
And horticulture.
Indeed.
This is a curated experience. Instead of just wandering around, you do follow a thoughtful narrative arc. Attractions are chosen to reinforce the theme that you're learning about, and transitions and pacing are handled just for you.
And then these are all about convenience and comfort as well. Many tours include less time in lines, reserved viewing or seating. They have scheduled breaks, and they use headsets for easy listening. So you have a little earpiece that hangs off your ear, and you can hear what your guide is saying very easily. I will offer a pro tip as a hearing aid user. These don't necessarily work with your hearing aids if you have the kind of hearing aid that hang off kind of like the back of your earlobe, which is pretty standard, because those microphones are kind of, on the top of or behind your ear, and these are meant to sit on top of your ear. So The pro tip that I have is to use a little Bluetooth transmitter dongle. You can find these on Amazon, and they just plug into the headphone jack on the little device that you carry around with you. And then you can pair that with a set of AirPods or whatever else that does work for you as a hearing aid listener. And you can hear what the guide is sharing. It was really, really fantastic. And this is kind of the first tour where I've tried doing that. And it's honestly the first tour where I really felt like I understood and could really hear what was going on. So pro tip there.
Now, what type of tours are available? We did go over this in one of our earlier episodes, but give you a quick rundown right here. Offerings do vary by the season, and they change often as well. Right now, the options that you can do are the Disneyland Railroad Guided Tour. This was episode 175 from last spring break. We did this last year.
That
it
was
great.
Fun. That was really awesome. That was really awesome.
Disney's Happiest Haunts, the Villains Trail Guided Tour. I would love to do this. This is only around spooky season, obviously.
Yeah.
And it includes both parks. This is one of the few that actually does both Disneyland and California Adventure.
Yeah.
Next one is A Story of Celebration, the 70th Anniversary Guided Tour. Spoiler alert, we did this one.
We did. And then we also did the next offering on the plate, which is Women Who Make the Magic Guided Tour. So stand by and you'll hear more about that in a little bit. And then, of course, we must mention there's also Disneyland Resort VIP tours. These are multi-hour private experiences where you're ushered around the park hitting whatever attractions you want. This is rent a plaid for a day. You get to skip the line. You get to do whatever you want to do within reason. These are expensive. These are between $500 and $800 an hour. There is a hourly minimum, i.e., I think it's like 6 or 7 hours minimum. Yeah.
A couple thousand.
These are several $1,000s, whereas the other tours are typically in the $120, $140 range. Depends on dates and demand and all the rest of that good stuff.
We've also done a tour called Walt's Main Street Story. That was episode 100 if you would like to listen on that. We got to tour Walt's apartment above the firehouse, which was...
That was so cool.
So cool. And Sterling was with us for that, and they really enjoyed that too.
Yeah.
There used to be a similar tour called Walking in Walt's Footsteps. Neither of these are on the schedule right now, but we expect something to pop back up after the 70th anniversary wraps up later this year.
Yep.
There also used to be a tour about the horticulture of Disneyland, which is really, really interesting, believe it or not. But I don't see that one on the schedule anymore.
It is
either.
not. Yeah, it's not on there right now. So
I think they swapped that with the Women Who Make the Magic Guided Tour.
Got it.
Because that's a newer one.
Yes, it is. Yeah, in fact, we discovered while we were down there that we actually know somebody who helped on the back end put that whole thing together.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we won't talk any more about that because they asked us not to.
Yep. Let's talk about the first tour we did, which was A Story of Celebration, 70th Anniversary Guided Tour.
Yeah, the little blurb on this says, for 7 decades, Disneyland Park has been a beacon of celebration. From the 10th celebration in 1965 through the 50th anniversary's happiest homecoming on Earth, Disneyland has invited guests to celebrate milestones, imagine endless possibilities, and embrace new stories. And that tradition continues today with the Disneyland Resort 70th celebration. Join us for a captivating tour through this history. I can read copy. I should be a voiceover guy.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Anyhow, moving on.
For this tour, our tour guide was named Murray, and he was a retired middle school teacher and administrator.
He was awesome.
He was awesome. I think he's been a cast member for like 4.5 or 5 years is what he said.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. He was great though.
He was really, really cool. Yeah. We had good chats.
This was a 2-hour long tour, and a couple of the, I guess, extra perks that you get for this is you do get to go on a ride. It was Runaway Railway, or you get a lightning lane for it, is what happened. You also get a dedicated spot near the flagpole for the Paint the Night parade. Actually, it wasn't near the flagpole. It was, I believe, special viewing up in the railroad area.
Oh, I thought it was across from the railway.
You meet at the flagpole. Oh. And they bring you up to, they bring you up to the railroad area for perfect viewing there. We had a dinner reservation that we could not miss that evening, so we were unable to take part in this. We still have not seen the Paint the Night parade. You also get a popcorn while you wait, this special Paint the Night popcorn.
Yes. Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, it is fancy. It's like it's the colors. It's like the
that's right.
The blue, the pink, and the orange.
Just the colors I want my popcorn to
fancy. Be. I think it's like sweet popcorn or something. I don't know.
Boy, my favorite.
Anyhow.
Anyway, if we weren't able to do that, and we were very bummed.
They gave us an extra lightning lane, I believe, though.
They did, yes. That was very nice of them. They did
not have to do that. Yeah. Well, one of the things that we learned was Mr. Walt Disney, in his wanting to keep the park clean, based on seeing other amusement parks and them not being very clean, wanted to have a lot of trash cans, a lot of places for people to dispose of their stuff rather than just throwing it on the ground because they couldn't find a trash can.
And we've always heard this.
Yes.
And it's the famous it's 30 steps between trash cans, or at least 30 steps between where you are and the nearest trash can. So I guess that would be 60 steps between trash cans.
The next one. Yeah.
Right.
All within visibility. There's a reason for this. It's the number of steps that it took for Walt to finish a hot dog. Got to throw that wrapper away somewhere, I guess. So, yeah.
There you go. Everything comes back to hot dogs.
Yeah. One of the other things that we learned was the opening of Disneyland was on television. There were 90 million people that watched the opening of Disneyland on television.
Yeah. I knew it was broadcast on television.
Yes.
I didn't realize it had like half the country tuned in.
That is a staggering number.
Yeah.
It may not seem like that much now, although it actually is. It does seem like a lot now.
Huge now.
But back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, this was in 55.
Yep. 90 million people in 55. Wow. Another cool thing we learned is about the gas lamps on Main Street. And I never honestly really realized it. As you were progressing down Main Street from the railway station towards the castle, it is actually an evolution in time through a few decades around the turn of the century. It starts out in the late 1890s or, around the turn of the century. And you'll notice that the lamps, at least there in Disneyland, are actual gas lamps. Well, as you get down towards the castle, I think it's the second half of Main Street, those lamps are electric. That is really cool.
Yeah. So it's going from gas lamps to electric lamps, showing the progress just of technology. And also the whole horse-drawn carriages and motor cars, that kind of shows that evolution as well.
Yep.
The Main Street Theater, hopefully everybody has gone in there because it's kind of cool.
It is.
It started out showing the Gertie short, so the dinosaur Gertie that they have over in Hollywood Studios.
I never knew Gertie was an actress. That's awesome.
Yes.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's the first animated, one of the first animated.
No, she's real. I've seen her in Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I have too. Yeah, I've eaten her cookie too. Oh, that sounded really dirty. Sorry.
Moving on.
Also in the theater was Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney.
Yes,
that's really cool.
I had heard something about a tie-in with Phantom on something somewhere. I don't remember where I heard that within the last year. And there was like a big licensing deal and all the rest of that stuff that was involved. And then I forget who it was, but like some studio exec that Walt had been friends with eventually, passed away, and that other entity was kind of like, and we're done with you using all of that IP.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Lon Chaney was a Disney princess?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
One of the neat things of this audio tour is as we were walking in between place to place, they were playing old commercials through the earpieces.
Yeah. Sometimes it was music, but then there was one section where it was Disneyland radio commercials through the years, like through the decades, starting about with like in the mid 50s when it opened.
Yeah.
And you could really tell the production value and the style and everything else as it moved from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. Yeah. I just sound like a radio DJ there. Anyhow.
That was really neat. There was a couple that I actually recognized. I'm like, oh my gosh. Of course, we talked about the Tiki Room a little bit.
Yes.
One of the things I love about this is we went to the Tiki Room on another day, and Sterling was like, yes, we're going to the Tiki Room, which kind of surprised me. I was like, oh, Sterling actually wants to go to the Tiki Room. We have done things right.
Yes, I am starting to read a book all about how the Tiki Room came about. So hoping to turn that into an episode at some point in the future. Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
The Tiki Room was originally designed to be a dinner theater.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the original concepts. And Walt's initial take was like, you're going to have birds sitting over the dinner table. That's not going to work out well. And the Imagineer is like, no, they're going to be animatronic. And he's like, oh.
No, that's where the idea came about. Like,
yes.
Yeah, why have real ones when we can do this newfangled thing?
Anyhow, I don't want to go more into the Tiki Room. Okay. That's definitely going to be an episode at some point. But it was really cool. It is the one attraction, the one thing at Disneyland that has Walt's name on it. And we'll talk about that more in an episode coming sometime this year.
And of course, we talked a little bit about Bob Gurr, who's a very well-known Imagineer. And I did not realize this. I learned all sorts of wonderful things on this tour.
Yeah, this is why we love these tours, by the way. You learn all sorts of tidbits.
Yeah. All the Main Street vehicles are period-correct manual transmissions. And all of the vehicles were designed by Bob Gurr. Yep. He designed all of them.
Yep.
I mean, I knew that he had designed the Autopia vehicles, but I didn't realize he had like specifically designed the Main Street vehicles. So that was really cool.
It's almost like anything that had wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Bob Gurr was involved in. It was really interesting. I mean, that and so much more. But yeah, we actually have a Funko Pop of Bob Gurr.
Yes, we do. We have two. Tried to get him to sign it, but he wasn't there.
We tried.
Yeah. Speaking of Autopia, the first Autopia car was completed 3 months before opening date.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. We also learned all of the vehicles were inoperative within the first 3 days of opening.
There was no center rail to guide.
Yeah.
And it got a little bumper car-ish. And they were able to like repair and things like that. But fun.
Yes.
Fun times. We, as part of this tour, got to take a little trip on the train, which was very, very fun.
I always like riding the railroad.
Absolutely. This is, of course, the Disneyland Railroad. It is a 5/8 scale railroad. These were used in specific like mining and other things. So just because it's a 5/8 scale doesn't mean it's like not a real thing.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool because like the oldest engine, it's pretty cool because like the oldest steam engine that they have there, Disneyland, is engine number 3. It was built in 1894 and it's still running. Like that's they don't make them like that anymore. That's for sure. Now it's been worked on a little bit over the years.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
they have 5 engines and 4 of them are named after presidents of the Santa Fe Railroad.
Yes.
I don't have the names of those. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sure I could figure them out.
Or people could look online.
This is true. The last one is the Ward Kimball is named after an Imagineer.
Yep. Then after the train, we got to take a ride on the Mark Twain. This is the paddle wheel boat that is there on the river in the middle of Disneyland. And I don't know that I'd ever been on the Mark Twain before.
I don't think I have. I've been on one of them. It may have been the one in Disney World.
I think we've been on the one in Florida. I don't think we had been on this one.
Okay.
Either or before. I don't think we'd been on this one though.
Got it.
It's really fantastic. You can see the two steam engines, or at least the pistons that are steam driven that turn the paddle. And I was like, I kind of geeked out and took a bunch of pictures like, oh, that's so cool.
It was really neat.
Yeah. And of course, through all of this, you're not only getting the narration from the boat, but you're also getting the narration from your tour guide to give you extra stories, extra behind the scenes. For example, the Mark Twain, I mean, it's named after Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens, right? Like it's one of Walt's favorite authors. I had no idea that Mark Twain is actually like a nautical term that they used on riverboats that meant, hey, you've finally reached a depth of 2 fathoms and it's safe to use the paddle again. Like, that's cool.
Yes. We also learned that the maiden voyage of the Mark Twain was on Walt and Lillian's 35th anniversary.
Indeed. And this was like 3 weeks before the park opened or something like that.
Yep.
Things were not ready. Main Street wasn't even paved yet.
No. And on opening day, the Mark Twain, well, there's a lot of gawkers on there and it took on water.
Yes, people were running from side to side to see things around the river, and that didn't work out so well.
No. One of the last things that we learned about was that Fantasyland was originally designed like a medieval fair. So they had like the canopies outside of every ride, and it just like looked like a Renaissance fair, if you will.
Right, big tents and things like that.
There was a huge refurbishment done in 1983 where they actually moved a bunch of the rides and replaced all the tent structures. They updated all the ride facades and kind of changed them to match where the rides were from. So like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and Peter Pan kind of had this British feel to the outside of it. Kind of like, I don't know what you would call that. Like
Elizabethan,
European,
Victorian, whatever. Yeah.
Pinocchio has kind of a Italian feel to it, and Snow White has a German feel to it.
Yeah. And then we ended our tour over by Small World, which was actually the last attraction that Walt Disney actually personally dedicated. And that was really neat to see as well. So, this is just a really fantastic chance to hear some stories, to get some background, to just get some really interesting and fantastic details. You may have heard some of them before. You may have heard new things on this day. You get to have a guide at your beck and call. If you have random questions about history or anything else, they will either have the answer or get you the answer. It's highly recommended these things. Not every trip needs to be go, 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 do, especially as we get older and more broken. We are finding different ways to enjoy the Disney parks, and tours like this are a big part of that for us. Next up, we enjoyed the Women Who Make the Magic guided tour. This was the next day. We didn't do both of these on the same day. And this was really, really fascinating.
Yes. The copy says, discover how trailblazing women began their journeys at the Walt Disney Company, made lasting names for themselves, and contributed to the unparalleled legacy of Disney storytelling at Disneyland Park.
For this 2-hour tour, Giorgio was our tour guide, and it included a treat at the end. We got a Matterhorn macaron. I don't know.
I don't
one
know
of
which
those.
ones are which. Yeah. It was a coconut cookie, basically.
There you have it. And this also included a nighttime show spot. Typically, although on the day we were there, the nighttime shows weren't running because the park was closing early, so it was a lightning lane.
Yep.
This was a really cool tour because it focused at least the first maybe half of it on a lot of the window dedications on Main Street, specifically on the women who were instrumental in helping design, implement, and make really cool things happen there at Disneyland and for the Disney company. And, you know, we've heard some of these stories before, but it's so easy to just walk down Main Street and be focused on, you know, trying not to run over a little kid, or I've got to duck in here to see if they have that sweatshirt I really want, or, hey, that's a really cool display that they have in one of the windows. Folks, take your time, look up. Those second-story windows are telling a lot of story.
Yes, they
and
really are.
honoring some very, very important and very, very cool people in the Disney ecosystem.
And we started out learning a little bit about Walt's parents, which I hadn't really heard very much on before. I mean, I heard Elias's name, but I didn't know about his mom, Flora.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know she was an architect, like a very well-known architect.
Yes.
Very, very, I don't know. the word I'm looking
Accomplished.
for. Yes, extremely accomplished.
I knew that his dad, Elias, was a contractor. I had no idea that his mom was the architect that was designing everything that his dad built. And she was running all the books for the business, plus running the household.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
She did a lot. Yeah.
We, of course, also honored Walt's wife, Lillian, who started off as a secretary in the ink and paint department there at Disney Studios. And, of course, heard how Lillian helped steer Mickey into life. Not necessarily his look, but let's not go with Mortimer as the name.
Yeah. Yep. So she chose Mickey, and it made sense.
Yes. And she has not just a window dedicated to her. She really has a whole kind of porch up there right on the flagpole circle over on the right-hand side as you're facing towards the castle. There's a very elaborate porch that is all about everything that Lillian focused on and was influential about there in the Disney, not just the park, but for the company as well. Yeah. And that was dedicated, I think, just a couple years ago.
No, it was last year.
Last year, yeah.
July of last year, they dedicated the window on their anniversary.
It's really quite stunning.
Yeah. And in 97, Lillian set aside $50 million to help build the new Symphony Hall in Los Angeles.
Yes, the Walt Disney Concert Hall,
yes.
Which and that was right before Lillian passed away. She unfortunately didn't make it until this opened in 2003. But I do remember being in the LA area not too long after it opened. I never got to go in the hall. It is stunning. It's a Frank Gehry design. It's just absolutely iconic. And it is beautiful from the outside. I've seen some pictures of the inside. Someday, that is a concert hall I would love to attend something in.
Or even just go tour it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We learned about all sorts of ladies who have made the magic.
Yes.
For Disney. We're not gonna dive through every single one of them. Just a couple ones that we just want to bring forward. I think one of them is Alice Davis. She was an expert pattern maker. She's actually known for making women's lingerie at first. And she was hired by Mark Davis for the skirt work for Sleeping Beauty, because Sleeping Beauty, or Aurora, she twirls around, and they wanted to get the look right for her dress.
And that just blew up. She worked on all of the costumes for Small World. She helped institute rules around costuming, especially for the animatronics, because, as those things are moving, things wear out. And she came up with this rule that if you're going to do a costume for an animatronic, you're making two right off the bat to help things, have a spare, figure out how to repair things, those kind of things. And that really helped out because not too long after the ride opened there on Pirates of the Caribbean, there was actually a fire in the burning port scene there, ironically. Yeah. And a bunch of those costumes in that scene were damaged, but they had spares.
Yep. So she worked on It's a Small World and Pirates of the Caribbean. There's actually a quote saying she went from sweet little children to dirty old men overnight. So her dupe policy saved the day.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We also heard a little bit about Leota Toombs, who was a model maker. She contributed to a lot of attractions that made the World's Fair there in 1964 that Disney was so involved with. She is also the original Madame Leota there in Haunted Mansion. She has a tombstone there in Florida. And last week, right after we did this tour, the week prior to that, and then we were home, and I think it was like Tuesday or something like that, they actually dedicated a brand new honorarium window to Leota Toombs there in Disneyland. So
it wasn't just Leota, it was also her daughter, Kim Irvine. So the window has both Leota's name and Kim's name on there. And Kim has done a bunch as well for Disney. She did the, I think, reiteration of Madame Leota in the Haunted Mansion as well.
And her daughter, Kim's daughter, I forget her name, is a current Disney employee. I think she's in Imagineering, if I am remembering correctly. So this is the third generation of Madame Leota is working in the parks still and making the magic happen.
We also learned about Ruth Shellhorn, who's a landscape architect. So as you're walking around Disneyland, you have her to thank.
Yes.
For all the walkways and all the landscape architecture. It's changed a little bit over the years, but she is the person who made this look the way it did to make it easy to get around and navigable and all that good stuff.
Right. And her design principles influenced the design of pretty much every other Disney park and a lot of other theme parks that came after. Like her principles of how you lay things out and make things accessible and themed and all the rest of that stuff. So, and what blew my mind is she was hired like 3 months before Disneyland opened. Like, shouldn't you have been thinking about some of this stuff a little earlier?
Yeah.
I guess not.
We also learned a lot about the tour guides of Disneyland. The very first one was an ambassador of Disneyland, and she was introduced on the World of Color way back when by Walt Disney himself. And they also talked a bit about Martha Blanding, who was the first Black tour guide. And she was actually recently made a Disney legend, and we got to be there we were there 24.
Yes, at D23.
At D23 in 2024.
Yes.
And got to see her at the Disney Legends ceremony.
That was really, really cool. And I was listening to another podcast. I know there's other Disney podcasts out there, but the Hyperion Adventures podcast, maybe a month ago now, they had an episode that Martha and another co-writer kind of put a book out, and go listen to that episode on the Hyperion Adventures podcast, because Martha is just a ball of energy and anecdotes, and just her story is truly, truly inspiring of just overcoming some of the cultural total racism. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That pushed through and starting out as a tour guide and moving up through merchandising and as a buyer, and then running programs like D23 and stuff like that. Before she retired, she had like a 50+ year career with Disney, and she has amazing stories about even just getting through the interview. And it was highly recommended. So Martha Blanding, Hyperion Adventures podcast. There is a book that she just came out with as well. Highly recommended if you want to do a little bit deeper dive on some really important women around Disney.
Yeah. They closed this out with, we got to see one of the clock tower statues.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what they're called. One of the original ones from It's a Small World.
Yeah.
I forget which one it was. They gave it a specific name. It's one of the dancers.
Yeah. And it's surprisingly large.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they actually had it out on stage with a couple plaids around it and undercover.
Yep.
And they uncovered it there over by a Small World, and we got to take pictures with it. So we have some really cool pictures, and one with Alicia standing next to it for scale, and like it's like half Alicia's size. Like it's not a Small World.
Yeah, it's up to my chest.
Yeah. It's cool.
Oh, we also we did get to go on a ride on this tour, and I was hoping it'd be It's a Small World, but it was the Storybook Canal boats.
Yes. We didn't do Small World. I really kind of want to do
I was thinking
Small
we
World
would
again.
just because of the ladies that did all the work on It's a Small World.
Yeah. So we'll just have to go back.
Okay.
Well, those are the tours. You learn so much on these tours. You're spending a couple hours, so it depends on your style. If you're the kind of person who, you've only been to Disney, this is your one trip to Disneyland, a tour probably isn't for you. But if you've been there a bunch, if you're looking for something that's not necessarily go and super rides and all the rest of that stuff, then these are some offerings that give you some extra special, little bit of pixie dust on top of your park day.
Yeah, I love doing these tours. It is an additional cost, but we learn so much, and I love the history of it all.
Yep.
Maybe I should read more books because I really do like learning about the history.
Do you read?
Do you even read, bro? Yeah, I do, but it's usually light and frivolous stuff.
Dragons and whatnot.
They're not light or frivolous, but yes.
Anyway.
We did do some other stuff while we were at the parks. Yeah. We only got on a couple of rides, but they were good ones.
Yes.
And we got to see the new Walt Disney animatronic.
Yes, this was cool. So we went over and just had some time. We're like, let's go do great moments with Mr. Lincoln. Like, why not? And so we did. And right before we went in, we had heard, hey, this is the last showing of this show for the day. And then they were turning it over to do the Walt Disney story right after that. And I was like, oh, well, I guess we'll just stay around.
Yeah.
And so we did great moments with Mr. Lincoln, which I also don't know if I had done before.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I had done the show that's in the American Pavilion in Epcot before. Okay. And I know I've done Hall of Presidents several times, but I don't think I'd done great moments with Mr. Lincoln before.
I've done this one before, and I think it was one of the days that I was just there by myself or something like that. Because I had to see it. This was the very first, this was the famous Lincoln animatronic. And it is ridiculously impressive.
Well, it is not the original.
No, but
it has been.
I know it's been done, but it's pretty much what it did.
Yes. Because
it stands up. And it's just like, holy cow.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive. And then we spent maybe 15 or 20 minutes touring around the history and art gallery there, which was absolutely fascinating. They had some of the original concept drawings from Disneyland.
The maps of all the iterations that it was before Disneyland.
Yeah, even when it was going to be up in Burbank originally, like some of those original designs, it was really neat to see a lot of that. Some of the original animatronics for the Tiki Room were in there.
Tiki Room, Pirates.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff was on display from history, Disney history there. And then we got to see the Walt Disney story. What did you think?
I thought it was great. I mean, I know there was a lot of flack when it first came out. People saying it didn't look like Walt. But these were also people that zoomed way in on this thing.
Right.
It didn't exactly look like him, but I don't know, just based on a lot of the other animatronics that we've seen, especially in the Hall of Presidents, it is very difficult to make an actual likeness for an animatronic.
Yeah. No, I thought they did really well. I enjoyed it. I thought the story was great, walking you through his story.
Yeah.
And highly recommended. Actually, I recommend seeing both.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Sterling had their performance at the Hollywood Backlot stage in California Adventure. That was really cool, just to see the kids up there. We actually saw a couple of performances from other groups that were up there throughout the week too. That was neat.
Yep. This is where concert bands and choirs and things like that, or in Sterling's case, a theater group will get on stage, and they did a bunch of short performances, and it was a lot of fun. It is something special to be able to say that you've performed at Disney.
Yes. Yeah.
And
we went over to check out Bluey.
As you do.
Well, Nathan, you still haven't seen an episode. You said you were going to see an episode, and you haven't yet.
I have failed. I apologize. This
is honestly, a really cute show.
Yes.
And it has a kick-ass live band.
Yes, the music is incredible.
It is, yeah.
Kudos to Disney for still investing in live entertainment, at least at Disneyland, where you have stuff like this going on. You have real shows going on. Not that there's not unreal shows going on elsewhere, but you get my point.
Yeah.
Streetmosphere has been back for a few years, a couple years at least, there in Disney California Adventure. We have the Citizens of Hollywood, Disney World, Florida. Guys, Bubby, hey.
You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Please bring these people back. Yes. It makes such a difference to have live entertainers, Streetmosphere, all the rest of that stuff happening in the park. It is what makes Disney parks magical, and it separates them from the Six Flags and the other things that are out there that you're competing against.
Just do it.
Just do it. And look at what Epic Universe is doing. Like, there's a ton of people on stage there.
I hope they keep that up.
That too, yeah. 100%.
Well, you and Sterling went over to DCA on Tuesday to ride the Wheel of Death, as I call it.
Yes, Mickey's Fun. No, it's not Mickey's Fun Wheel. It's the Pixar Pal Around. Yes, of course, on the swinging.
The swinging side, yeah.
Yes.
I don't get nauseous on rides. This one, I got nauseous on, which is a very novel feeling for me. I did not like it. And Caitlin did not like it either when we did this. So you guys get to do this.
And I do often get nauseous on rides, and this one doesn't bother me at all.
So weird. Weird.
Yeah. We did, Sterling and I did the Wheel of Death, and then we did Mater's Junkyard Jamboree. And, that was so fun.
I love rides like that. I really do. They're just little filler rides, but they make me giggle.
Yep. You joined us. We tried to go do Radiator Springs Racers. This is always interesting. Yeah. It was like 100-minute plus wait. But if you were willing to spend the money for the Lightning Lane, because that's a single ride, you've got to pay for attraction, it was an instant redemption.
Yeah.
And not like 2 or 3 or 8 hours out. It was like right then. So especially in our state, and we had other things to go do that day. We said, okay, great, we're going to pay for it. And then we went right in line, and then the ride broke.
Yep. Yes, we are part of the problem. We buy the lightning lanes.
Sorry, everybody. So instead, we went over to do Luigi's
Rollicking
Roadsters? Yes. Yes. This.
We hadn't done this before.
No, we hadn't done this one. It was so much fun. And that queue is incredible.
Yes, it is. It is. It's funny. So they have all these different tires in the queue, and they all have different names, but they're all the fettuccine Alfredo tires. They all have the the name of the tires on the top of it.
Right.
And it's all fettuccine Alfredo.
Yeah. There's 2 or 3 different like tread designs, but they all have fettuccine Alfredo like embossed on the side.
Yeah.
Even if they say that they're from some other manufacturer on the label. So yeah, it's just, come on. There's one level of detail you could have gone into.
Yes.
But speaking of details, like in the office there in the shop, they had the automotive table of the elements on the wall. So it had the normal things like iron and nickel and copper and zinc and gold. But then it had... And this was full. This was a full periodic table.
Yes, that's why I took a picture of it. I'm like, there's got to be some stuff in here. We were going by too fast. I couldn't really see anything, so I just took a picture.
We have beepium, speedium, swervium, rheumium, petroleum, and euternium, among others. It was very, very cool.
Yes. And there's also a menu from the Wheel Well Motel, the cocktail menu.
It was pinned up on a corkboard.
Yes, this is another one. I'm like, this looks fun, and took a picture of it. Well, we have the type of cocktails here are the Cartini, the Floody Mary, obviously the Sidecar,
yes,
the Engine and Tonic, Carsmopolitan, Mojito, like TOW, Mojito, Mai Tai Rod, Chrome de Mint, and Engine Block Russian.
Yeah.
The level of detail and Imagineering that goes into these cues, you guys, you got to look.
The level of puns and dad jokes.
I love it. We finally got to go on Radiator Springs Racers in the evening at dusk. That was great.
That is the right time to do that ride.
Yes.
When the lighting kicks in.
Yep.
We got to see the Shaboom show because we were walking over there and we needed to wait all of like 45 seconds for the right timing for sunset, and watched all the neon turn on along the street there.
And the music pop on. Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
That's
so
fun.
good. And we did web slingers, which I still don't know what the heck I'm.
Nah, I just finger guns. Pew, pew, pew. Yep. Some of the other rides we got to do, this was like later on throughout the week.
Yeah.
Rise of the Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Get on the blue line if you can. It's the best.
Yes. We won't spoil it. Just red is okay.
Yeah.
Blue is best.
Yes.
Yes.
We had the A show.
Yes.
I was not expecting that. I was for sure thinking that we'd have the B show.
There's 3 gun turrets. They had all been moving because they just did the refurb here, right? In California.
And now only one of them was
One of them was working.
That's all right. That's all right. We still got the other things. That was good.
Come on, guys. You could do it.
Yeah.
We did Haunted Mansion. What else did we do over the week?
Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway.
That took 2 tries because it went down as soon as we got in the line there too.
Tiki Room.
Tiki Room. Yep, we did that. We tried to see and visit with Wally and Eve, who had been doing like 4 Wednesdays. I think this is the 4th of 4 Wednesdays
for the month of April.
Yeah, in April, and it was a basically 2-block line outside the hotel, and they had shut the line right before we got there, and it was like already 2 hours long. So that wasn't going to work out. So we decided to go to the Palm Breeze Bar instead.
Yeah, I mean, the cast member at the end of the line said you could always walk into the lobby and look at them. And then, like, you can't get your picture with them or anything, but you can see them. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go do that. So Sterling and I went over there, did that. I walked past them to go to the restroom and came back. And the cast members there were like, come on, hurry up, hurry up. So I got a really quick video of them. Yeah, they're cute as heck.
They're big too.
They are big, and they're making, their noises like Wally was saying Wally and Eve and stuff.
They'll turn to look at you.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
I hope they keep these out and have
Yeah.
them out more often. Very cute.
Yes. What do we do? It snowed at home while we were in California on spring break, so that was nice to miss. Mm-hmm. It was a really good trip.
Yeah.
It was a much different pace than we have been taking in the past. We have taken in the past. I mean, we've done Disneyland open to close.
Yes.
That's not us anymore. And especially this trip, we were just a lot slower physically.
Yeah.
We just weren't hitting it that hard. So
there's a couple things I wish I could have done. Like I really would have liked to just hang out at Galaxy's Edge a little more. I love doing that. I just love the ambiance of that area. Even if I just like sit down and bring my Kindle and just read for a while, I feel very happy in that area.
yeah.
I like it a lot.
Well, now you can get a pink milk.
Oh yeah, I got a pink milk. That was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, Sterling and I, on our way out of the park, we got an exit churro because
As you do.
it's important. It's
Yes.
important. Well, speaking of exit churros, that's the end of our episode.
Yep.
We'll be back next week with more fun stuff. In the meantime, just remember, we're not affiliated with Disney or their subsidiaries. All of what you have heard are our personal opinions and suggestions based on our own experiences. But remember, we are affiliated with fun, snacks, and questionable decisions.
And exit churros.
Exit churros for sure.
We recommend working with a travel advisor or contacting Disney directly to plan your perfect vacation. And if you love this episode, please take a moment and give us a rating and review. It helps other Disney fans find us, and it's just a nice thing to do.
Absolutely. If you have questions or suggestions or would like to be interviewed on our show to share your Disney experiences, please reach out. Send us an email to podcast@ourmousecapades.com.
You can follow us on socials. We are at Our Mousecapades on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube. And please share us with your friends and your family.
Thanks for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.